Welcome to episode 50 of Pulse of Physiology. I'm your host, Dr. Jim Davis, and today we're diving into pulmonary pressures. These are the forces that drive air movement into and out of the lungs. By the end of this episode, you'll understand the four key pulmonary pressures, how they interact during breathing, and their role in lung expansion and ventilation. So let's get started. Pulmonary ventilation is driven by pressure differences between the atmosphere, lungs, and pleural cavities. The four key pressures to understand are atmospheric pressure, intra-alveolar pressure, intrapleural pressure, and transpulmonary pressure. Atmospheric pressure is the pressure of the air outside the body. At sea level, atmospheric pressure is 760 millimeters of mercury, but this can vary with altitude. Breathing does not change atmospheric pressure. Instead, ventilation occurs due to pressure differences between the lungs and the environment. Intra-alveolar pressure is the pressure of air inside the alveoli. At the end of inspiration and expiration, alveolar pressure equals atmospheric pressure, which is why there is no air movement. During inspiration, alveolar pressure drops about 1 millimeter of mercury below atmospheric pressure, which creates a gradient that pulls air in. During expiration, alveolar pressure rises approximately 1 millimeter of mercury above atmospheric pressure, which pushes air out. Intrapleural pressure is the pressure inside the pleural cavity, which is between the visceral pleura that lines the lung surface and the parietal pleura, which lines the chest wall. Normally, intrapleural pressure is 4 to 6 millimeters of mercury below atmospheric pressure, and this is important because it prevents lung collapse. During inhalation, the thoracic cavity expands, making intrapleural pressure more negative, and this helps pull the lungs outward. During exhalation, intrapleural pressure becomes less negative as the chest wall recoils, which reduces lung expansion. Finally, we have transpulmonary pressure. This is the pressure difference between intra-alveolar pressure and intrapleural pressure. Transpulmonary pressure helps keep the lungs expanded and prevent collapse. When transpulmonary pressure is high, that means there is a large amount of lung inflation. When transpulmonary pressure is low, that means there's reduced lung expansion. Now, these pressures change during the respiratory cycle. During inhalation, the diaphragm contracts, which expands the volume of the thoracic cavity. Intrapleural pressure becomes more negative, which pulls the lungs outward. Intra-alveolar pressure drops slightly below atmospheric pressure, which creates a gradient that allows air to enter the lungs. During exhalation, the diaphragm relaxes, which reduces thoracic volume. Intrapleural pressure becomes less negative, which reduces the outward pull on the lungs. And intra-alveolar pressure rises slightly above atmospheric pressure, which pushes air out of the lungs. Expiration continues until alveolar pressure equals atmospheric pressure. Transpulmonary pressure is the force that opposes lung collapse, and so a positive transpulmonary pressure keeps alveoli open, ensuring continuous airflow. If transpulmonary pressure becomes too low, lung recoil forces can lead to alveolar collapse, and this is something called atelectasis. So to summarize, we've got three key takeaways. Pulmonary ventilation is driven by changes in intra-alveolar pressure relative to atmospheric pressure. Intrapleural pressure remains negative to prevent lung collapse and aid lung expansion. Transpulmonary pressure opposes lung recoil and maintains lung inflation during breathing. And so that's it for episode 50 of the Pulse of Physiology. I hope this episode has clarified how pulmonary pressures regulate ventilation and lung expansion. Come back next time for episode 51, where I'll talk about the mechanisms of pulmonary ventilation. Until then, keep questioning, keep exploring, and stay curious.